Your destiny is calling. Hello, beloved, cosmic, multiversal soul familia. Welcome back, and thank you so very much for tuning in whenever you tune in, from wherever you tune in. And just know we are surrounded in the light of protection throughout our day. It is at our side and guiding our words and actions to come from a place of love, clearing our energy and vibration completely of negative thoughts and beliefs, releasing fears and self-limiting beliefs, helping us to fully and completely experience love, light, and joy that is present in every moment and guiding our path for our highest and greatest good. So it is, so it is, so it is. Yes. We'll leave a little palo going in the background. Keep it simple. We have before me 4 decks of cards here. In this session, we're going to switch things up a bit and do a pick a card, pick a pile rather. We're going to do a pick a pile message for the collective. I'm going to do 3 different piles with 4 different decks. This one isn't really anything too spectacular. It's just some basic angel numbers, 1 for each pile. And I'm going to do this on camera so that you see that nothing is staged or prearranged or anything like that. Alright, again, we're doing 3 piles of 4 cards, beginning. This is going to be our first card for each pile. So I'm going to lay them out. 1, 2, and 3. I know you can't see this over here, but just know it's there. There's the angel number, and then we're going to go into Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. Set this off to the side here. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, after a little bit of a shuffle on camera. One more. Alright, and I'm feeling guided to also do a split and then go from the top for the next row, next column here. Alright, now we're going to go into the archetypes. The Wild Unknown Archetypes, Pocket Edition. Shuffling on camera. We're just going to do 2 little shuffles for these cards because I always shuffle them right after use. Alright. And we're also going to do a split with this deck and do 1, 2, and 3. And then last but most certainly not least, we're also bringing in a creature teacher. This is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, also in the Pocket Edition. And we're just going to do a quick shuffle on camera with these as well. And a split. And then from the top. Alright, now we can form them into little piles. This being first pile, like so. All right. Second pile, and then third pile. All right, here we go. Now here is your chance to decide which one you're going to pick. Pile number 1, pile number 2, or pile number 3. All right, giving you just a moment to decide. Take in one deep, conscious breath. And here we go. Going into pile number 1 for those of you who chose pile number 1. Beginning with your angel number, you have the number 1, 2, 3, 4. When I see this number, the first thing that comes to mind is moving onward and steady and onward. And of course, the equal and opposite, or excuse me, the opposite would be equally true if it were 4, 3, 2, 1. It would represent some kind of slowing or a temporary pause, or in some cases even like backwards thinking, backwards movement, a decline of some kind. In this case, there is an incline or onward movement here, consistent, steady onward movement, persistence. Keep going. You have completed a task that is in alignment with your soul's journey. The divine is letting you know that it sees you and that all of your persistence is paying off. You are being acknowledged. And for each angel number, there is also an affirmation. I take steps to stay in alignment with my soul's journey, and I reap the rewards of my persistence. All right, the next card for pile 1 is the Dragon's Duel, but it was in reverse. It was in reverse. So immediately I'm getting overcoming that illusion of separation, as well as overcoming inner conflicts. But most importantly, with this card in reverse, I'm getting developing a stronger moral compass. And it's going to mean something different for each of you, but it's still going to resonate. And this self-development is what is paying off here. So you've really been persistently putting into your self-development. And now we are looking at your pocket archetype, well, your wild unknown archetype for this message, which is the threshold. I've said this before recently on a different channel during a discussion, and as a matter of fact, this theme came up in a completely different scenario again this morning. But what I'm getting here is being on the precipice of a breakthrough. And I'm hearing, as I speak, I'm hearing another breakthrough. On the precipice of another breakthrough of some kind. At first glance, it may seem as though the orange could be depicted as lava beneath a frail or fragile surface. But as soon as I turned this around and started looking into it a bit more, I started hearing that song, Walking on Sunshine. So that is going to be your channeled song for today and for this session, Walking on Sunshine. On the precipice of yet another breakthrough by being persistent in putting into self-development, overcoming illusions of separation, strengthening your moral compass. Let's see what the guidebook has to say about the threshold. Growth is what's really standing out. Crossing a threshold may not always be voluntary. Sometimes we are thrown across the boundary through circumstances far beyond our control. Either way, we cannot go back. So this is also giving, like, once you put your magic glasses on, you cannot take them off. Once you awaken, it's like you can't go backwards. Once you see, you cannot unsee. And it becomes like an encrypted memory. So even as we may sometimes experience bouts of amnesia or dementia, different things of that nature, it's like it's still encrypted in our DNA and can also be roused, just like that Casey character who was a medium, and they would voluntarily go under hypnosis and even make predictions. Now I'm getting that something that you actually saw coming, but didn't really give it 100% of your attention, something that you saw like in a glimpse that you saw coming, but perhaps the details were unknown, and now it's coming into fruition, like an experience of deja vu or some effect of that nature. It's like you are almost unconsciously making this next step that is the breakthrough, but it's like a small, it's like a fraction of the breakthrough coming in for you. You're embracing your mission. You're embracing what you believe to be your soul's purpose. And it's working wonders. And ringing in yet another breakthrough. You heard the ring, and you're answering the call. And you have the mouse as your creature teacher for today. The humble little mouse. And now I can hear somebody saying, "Aw, shucks, it was nothing." Involving something that you just do with ease. You're in the flow. You're just in the flow, in your flow. Doing something with ease that has others a bit awestruck. Like, how do you do it? How did you do it? Tell us more. Show us more. Look at you shine. Look at you sparkle. Look at your aura twinkling like the stars in the sky. Of course we want to know more. The mouse. Detail oriented. We're speaking on fine craftsmanship here in terms of your self-development. This is beautiful. About to embark on a brand new meaningful project. So there's where that breakthrough comes in. So this is giving some kind of project or assignment that perhaps that you were planning and you just didn't really completely pack it up and put it away. It was more like that good gravy that you put on the back burner. Now your other selves are saying good gravy is trying to turn the heat up a bit. Let's get it simmering. Yes. A mouse personality doesn't notice when they've gone too far. So this tells me that they also don't notice when they're in the flow and it's like not even really seeing the sparkle that you're creating in other people's lives, because you're just in that flow. It's like it's so organic, it comes so second nature to you that you're just doing your thing and making magic over there, like straight up. Yes. Finding more purposeful projects to delve into, one that's worthy of your exacting eye. That's some fine craftsmanship you have going on over there. For those of you who chose pile 1. Thank you so very much for listening. We are now going to move on to pile 2. And here we go. Clearing the air. And going into pile number 2. So, for those of you who chose this pile, this message is for you. We have 143 as your angel number. 143. Back in the day, in the age of the pagers and beepers, 143 stood for I love you. And for realsies, though, this number stands for preparation as well. Life is filled with phases. The whisper is telling you to prepare for the unexpected and allow change to pass through with a sense of peace. Financial and creative changes are upon you. And of course, with these angel numbers, if you were watching for the first message, there is also an affirmation at the bottom. My dreams and desires are coming to fruition, bringing change that I welcome with an open heart and mind. Preparation. Let's see. Okay, well, I'm not going to gas you up too much with this, with the financial and creative changes. I don't ever claim to be a fortune teller. And if it ever comes off in the conversation like I'm speaking on the future, or it sounds like I'm making a prediction, just know I'm speaking on basically still the present time, like still in the now, like still being in present in the moment that we're in, but just looking ahead slightly or looking back slightly, reflecting. You know, it's okay to reflect and it's okay to dream. And that's that. So what I am seeing here, without exaggerating or sounding too charlatanish like some may seem or be perceived to be, anyways, what I see is a blossoming that is occurring due to this preparation. What I'm also getting is something along the lines of your dreams coming into fruition, but they're not necessarily going to be like exactly the way that you envisioned them. So it's about accepting these changes with grace. And you're being guided to just welcome these changes. Yes, the keepers of the scales with fairness and balance, and this is in the upright. So, fairness, balance is restored. Confirmation of the message coming from the angel numbers here. So, if anywhere in that dream you were like, I would just love to have that awareness and peace of mind as top priority, because that is where the balance lies, no matter the weather. And I'm saying no matter the weather, because she's so focused on where her awareness should be at, where her awareness should lie, that she's not even paying any mind to the overcast in the background. She's shining her own light to maintain that balance. So just instead of waiting for this to somehow magically occur, by choosing to prioritize your awareness and peace of mind over all else, this is where things are becoming at more eye level for you, your loved ones, those you connect with, those you are in communication with on a regular basis, especially concerning finances and your creativity. So whatever these financial and creative changes are, it's for the greater good with that keeper of the scales. All right, now let's bring out your archetype and for pile number 2. Those of you who chose pile number 2, we have the Pilgrim. And it's what I'm getting from this is a pilgrimage inward. And as you go deeper within, you are discovering more creative aspects of yourself. So this is like a journey inward. And 1010, endings leading to new beginnings. A new creative endeavor that also involves and or affects your finances. I'm getting more than anything that a creative endeavor that is going to restore balance in your life in general, not just in one particular area here. Endings bring new beginnings. And this is going to be quite the colorful new beginning for you. A very artistic new beginning. Let's see what the book has to say. We all have a deep longing to answer the call, to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? Life is filled with phases. Some of these phases may seem like they are obstacles to knock you off your square. But in all actuality, what's happening is you're being nudged in a different direction. Especially in terms of your creativity, how you even create things. Not necessarily a complete 180. More like a 90-degree shift. Because when their fists come together, even though it looks like, they're forming a peak of some kind, but if you just turn your head slightly, it becomes a 90-degree angle. So I'm seeing not a 180, but like a 90-degree shift. So just a little tweaking and fine-tuning going on here. Oh, for the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. The archetypal wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and meaning in the farthest reaches of the globe and the deepest regions of the spirit. Others will wonder when the pilgrim will settle down and claim a more conventional life. But the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. Where there is motion, there is freedom, expansion, and growth. Responsibilities, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep, and soon the pilgrim becomes veiled to the slumber of the day to day. Yet, when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door towards a new reality. With the pilgrim at your side, you will never lack courage, nor do you need every amenity. Travel light, travel soon. Your spirit needs it. So, some of you have a bit more inner work to do. And in doing so, you are creating expansion of your own. Alright, let's see. You have the lizard as your creature teacher for today. The lizard. So, let's see what is up with this lizard. I'm not really getting... too much intuitively, besides I'm hearing one word, and the word is regeneration. Regeneration, regeneration. Like there's something that I'm getting, like not so much a hidden attribute, but something that perhaps you used to do in the past that you stopped doing, and now you're being encouraged to bring it back, regenerate that, because it's going to be even more so fulfilling. Like I'm hearing double. X marks the spot twice. Double the pleasure, double the treasure. I just heard. Keeping it clean, of course. So let's see what the book has to say about the lizard. Artistic, telepathic even, and spiritual. So, an inward spiritual journey, or aka pilgrimage, that is going to bring back or otherwise regenerate an amazing gift. Ooh. Now this is something that I liked to do when I was younger, to create. It's like intuitive art. Like not really starting a project with any particular thing in mind, and you just get started. Like, okay, the canvas is wet, now what? And then just allow your intuitive nudges to guide you in creating this masterpiece. And for some of you, you're going to be putting more of those psychic abilities to use. Or you currently are. It's like you're no longer afraid to share your superpowers, so to speak. No longer feeling the need to be so elusive and like long hidden. You're coming out of the caverns. This is like, it's giving me like the hermit in reverse, like bringing more of that, the golden nuggets from the depths of your soul to the surface and regenerating them. It's like finding your niche and then just repeating that process, because why stop doing something good that also regenerates good, that creates a positive feedback loop regardless of what you tap into. Yes, something that you're meant to be bringing back to the surface, that again you prepared for this long ago, or what, a while back, whatever, what seems like long ago, and may have given it a swing the first time, and you're like, okay, well, this is great, but you could have had all kinds of other things going on as well, and they somehow took precedence over that, and now you're bringing that other creative spark by way of this pilgrimage back to the surface and putting in even more work to what you have already prepared and regenerating that. I'm even hearing like a revolving door of, like a financial revolving door somehow. Or that revolving door of creativity that supports your financial goals in some kind of way. Something that you were already doing, but other things took precedence, and now this is taking precedence. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for pile number 2. Thank you so very much for tuning in and listening along. I certainly hope these messages find you well. All right, now we're going to move along to pile number 3. So for those of you who chose pile number 3, this one's going to be for you. All right, and here we go with pile number 3. Bringing the palo back in for just a moment. All right, here we go. Pile number 3. Ooh, we have 888 and abundance. So you're bringing some of that abundant energy from 2024 on into 2025. Blessings are here and more are on the way. Let yourself feel the abundant flow of prosperity that is all around you. As you stand in your highest self, you attract all that you once were seeking. Giving is always the doorway to success. And what I noticed already, but I just wanted to see where this trend was going, is that all the messages from pile number 1 to pile number 2, somehow it was like pile number 1's story was leading into pile number 2's story. And now pile number 2's story is leading into pile number 3. So if you listen to this entire message, there's no doubt in my mind you're going to find yourself in it. You're going to find yourself in it. In the entire message. The more good I do in the world, the more abundant my life grows. I radiate an energy of loving kindness. And that is the affirmation for angel number 888. Alright, now let's see what card you received for. This is Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And we have the High Lord of Gratitude and Service, but it is in reverse. So with that energy of abundance, it looks to me like you were giving too much of it away. At a first glance, it looks like you were giving too much of it away. Typically, I would say, oh, you're being selfish, or we're being selfish with this, but no, that's not what I got at all. What I see here is that you unconsciously, because this card speaks unconscious actions, you are unconsciously giving all of it away, being a little too selfless. And as if there really were such a thing, but what I mean by that is, like, you were sure, that energy of abundance is there and it's still there, but it was looking like you were just giving entirely too much away and not reserving enough of that abundant energy for yourself, or that energy of abundance for yourself. And I can see that it has humbled you, or it will. It will sink in. It's like is you're being urged to just be more mindful of how you distribute your energy as well. I just heard. All right. So, on that note, oh, your golden nuggets of wisdom. Your wild unknown archetype for pile number 3 is Gnosis. Divine wisdom. Or just wisdom in general, like wisdom. Interesting. Now it's giving like you're better at giving your own advice than following your own advice. And somehow realizing that the golden nuggets that you've been sharing with others in order to benefit them have been working out for them. But then when you apply some of this, whatever this means to you, it could be financial, any kind of guidance, support, uh, encouragement, advice, recommendations, acts of service, good Samaritanism, humanitarianism, like what you put forth to benefit others does benefit others, but when you apply those same aspects, those same principles to your own life, it seems as though you're not quite getting the same results, because this card, when I went to pick it up, was sideways, and all I did was slide it around, so the angle didn't change. The only time anything changed is when it went from a column to a pile, and the position of the card did not change. So, you know, a therapist once told me that even therapists need, even some therapists need therapy sometimes, and their dynamics applied to their clients works well for them, but it seems as though the circumstances turn out differently for them. So it's like, and I'm not saying that, oh, you need therapy or anything. That's not what I'm saying. What It's just an example of how someone could have a certain specific profession that is beneficial to others, but when they apply those same dynamics to themselves, it doesn't work. It's like the ego is getting in the way of it being as effective for you as it would be for others. So seeking, there could be something that you do as an interest or a hobby or even a profession, a vocation, um, that where you offer a service to another, and you're actually being guided to see past the egoic aspects of this situation and be willing to accept the same type of energy from another. You're being challenged to accept and be in the season of receiving from another that would otherwise match up to you, like what you would do for others. You see where I'm going with this? And it's going to challenge the ego a little bit, but not enough to where you lose that energy of abundance or that abundance of energy, because both apply. So it's like the ego's going to rear up, but as soon as you start seeing the benefits in the receiving, in allowing that season of receiving, the ego gets squashed. You see the benefits, and this is where the humility comes in and turns this, what was in reverse, in the upright. And it's also giving me that, like, if your vocation involves spirituality in some kind of way, and you haven't been expressing your worth in terms of that type of work, you're being encouraged to do so now. Because I was also getting with the High Lord of Gratitude and Service in reverse that somebody may have taught you, much like I was also taught, that it's not acceptable to accept payment for certain spiritual practitioner type services. But going into 2025, that scenario has changed. You can start accepting those donations. You can start accepting those gifts. You can start accepting that free cup of coffee, for crying out loud. Know your worth and don't forget it. And do not allow fear, guilt, or shame to impact this newfound shifting your mindset in terms of your worth. You're going to figure out a way to incorporate more of the things that you used to do that you stopped doing out of fear, guilt, shame, gossip, jealousy, envy, all of those low, like down low frequencies, it's like you wouldn't allow yourself to feel that abundance in certain ways, like because it wasn't allowed. And now that's changing. Moving along. Oh my goodness. Confirmation. There's a spiritual rebirth that is also going to benefit you in all the other areas of your life as a whole. It's almost as though this is guidance coming in for you who does similar things that you do. And it's like if you would have heard this from anyone else, it would have affected you completely different. But by hearing it from this particular area of your life, it is like a spark within you was reignited. And from the outside looking in, it looks like a rebirth of some kind is occurring here. But the one who initiates that reignition is ultimately going to be Source, inspired by another person who is ultimately another you. As we are all fragmented entanglements of Source, we all came from the same ultimate creator. So another you in what is perceived to be someone else, cooperating, co-creating with Source to reignite that spark within you, to know your worth and to stand on it and not allow yourself to be gypped any longer or ripped off or stolen from. Yeah. Time to break out the copyright stamps and all of that. Because at the end of the day, it's business. And when we open our mouths, anytime we open our mouths, it is our business in more ways than one. Let's see what the guidebook has to say for pile number 3. Those of you who chose pile number 3. The Phoenix. freedom from suffering and past karma. Transformation of the past doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication. The essence of the phoenix is with us when we realize we've been suffering too long and something must change. And this suffering ends as you express your worth and stand on it and say it with your whole chest. Know your worth. Express your worth. Timeless. Priceless. And embracing all forms of abundance that have been granted to you with this affirmation. The more good I do in the world, the more abundant my life grows. I radiate an energy of loving kindness. Radiate the energy of love and kindness, especially for yourselves. And there isn't anything selfish about it. Reclaim your abundance. And that is your message. Thank you so very much, beloved multiversal soul familia, for tuning in. If you made it this far, you are a rock star. With much gratitude and appreciation. Brightest blessings.